As I handed my dad his 50th birthday card, he looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "Ick now, one would have been enough." Please subscribe, like and leave a comment. Much love to you all. Cardi B and Bill Cosby walk into a bar. I don't remember the rest. If you aren't impressed with the picture of the first black hole, you clearly don't understand the gravity of the situation. If any of you here are thinking of getting married, consider the following before you do. On the one hand, you get to wear a pretty cool ring. On the other hand, you don't. I wasn't allowed in a fraternity in college because I was circumcised. Apparently you need to be a complete dick. A cowboy rode into town and stopped at a saloon for a drink. Unfortunately, the locals always had a habit of picking on strangers, which he was. When he finished his drink, he found his horse had been stolen. He went back into the bar, handily flipped his gun into the air, caught it above his head without even looking, and fired a shot into the ceiling. "Which one of you sidewinders stole my horse?" he yelled with surprising forcefulness. No one answered. "Alright, I'm gonna have another beer, and if my horse ain't back outside by the time I finish, I'm gonna do what I done in Texas. And I don't like to have to do what I done in Texas." Some of the locals shifted restlessly. The man, true to his word, had another beer, walked outside, and his horse has been returned to the post. He saddled up and started to ride out of town. The bartender wandered out of the bar and asked, "Say partner, before you go, what happened in Texas?" The cowboy turned back and said, "I had to walk home." How can you tell your girlfriend is getting fat? She fits in your wife's clothes. The skip intro button on Netflix is so cool. I wish Tinder had it too. A mama mole, a papa mole, and a baby mole all live in a little mole hole. One day the papa mole sticks his head out of the hole, sniffs the air and says, "Yum. I smell maple syrup." The mama mole sticks her head out of the hole, sniffs the air and says, "Yum. I smell honey." The baby mole tries to stick his head out of the hole to sniff the air, but can't because the bigger moles are in the way, so he says, "Geez, all I smell is molasses." If you ever feel your job is meaningless, just remember that it's somebody's job to install turn signals to BMWs. A man accidentally elbows a woman's boob as she is standing behind him in a hotel lobby. The man apologizes profusely and says, "If your heart is as soft as your breasts, I know you'll forgive me." To which the woman replied, "If your dick is as hard as your elbow, I'm in room 318. Why don't Native Americans like snow? It's white and settles on their land. Be careful today when searching giant black hole pics. All I keep getting are scientific articles. Dating me. Pros. Dating. Cons. Me. My wife asked me, "Hey, can you give examples of jobs that don't exist anymore?" I said, "Steve." A couple is sitting on the porch sipping wine. The wife says, "I love you." The husband says, "Is that you, or the wine talking?" The wife replies, "It's me, talking to the wine." I asked my wife to dress as my favorite Star Wars character for some sexy birthday fun. I walked into the bedroom that night, and I was shocked. "Love, Jabba the Hutt is not my favorite Star Wars character," I exclaimed. "Fuck off," she shouted, "I haven't got dressed yet." I like you, in a plutonic way. Don't you mean platonic? No, plutonium, like radioactive exposure. The longer I'm with you, the more I feel like dying. An Irishman walks into an American bar. He sits down and orders 3 beers. "You know, you don't have to order these all at once. I'm happy to make them fresh," says the bartender. "Oh no, yassie," replies the Irishman. "The extras are for me 2 brothers back in Ireland. We all order 3 beers, so it feels like we're drinking together," and he chugs them all down. Every day for months, the Irishman comes in and does the same thing, until one day he orders only 2 beers. The bartender's heart sinks, knowing the Irishman must have lost one of his brothers. "I'm so sorry," he says. "Did one of your brothers pass?" "Of course not, they're fine," says the Irishman. "I've just quit drinking. I can't take my dog to the pond anymore because the ducks keep attacking him. I guess that's what I get for getting a purebred dog." Where do horses go when they get sick? To the hospital. Just kidding, they get shot. I have just written a book on how to fall down a staircase. It's a step-by-step guide. A young boy enters a barber shop. And the barber whispers to his customer. This is the dumbest kid in the world. Watch while I prove it you. The barber puts a dollar bill in one hand and 2 quarters in the other. Then calls the boy over and asks, which do you want, son? The boy takes the quarters and leaves. What did I tell you? Said the barber. That kid never learns. Later, when the customer leaves, he sees the same young boy coming out of the ice cream store. Hey, son. May I ask you a question? Why did you take the quarters instead of the dollar bill? The boy licked his cone and replied, because the day I take the dollar, the game is over. A new business is opening, and one of the owner's friends wants to send him flowers for the occasion. They arrive at the new business site and the owner reads the card, rest in peace. Understandably, the owner is angry and calls the florist to complain. After he tells the florist of the obvious mistake and how angry he is, the florist replies, sir, I'm really sorry for the mistake, but rather than getting angry, you should imagine this. Somewhere there is a funeral taking place today, and they have flowers with a note saying, congratulations on your new location. My girlfriend is so smart. Once I forgot to bring my phone when I went out for the day. I borrowed my friend's phone to call her. She answered, what's up baby? She is so smart she knew I was the one calling her. I proposed to my Russian girlfriend and she said yes. For the wedding, my whole family and friends flew over to her hometown of Moscow. It was a beautiful ceremony, however I did find something strange. For instance, the priest never said, you may now kiss the bride, but I just assumed it was purely an American thing and didn't mind. Later during the reception, we were both starving and decided to head over to the buffet to get food. On the way we passed the drink table, where about 6 people were waiting to get a fruity drink from a bowl. As we passed, they all said in unison, you may now kiss the bride. My wife got giddy and gave me a big kiss, which I of course returned. As we walked away I asked, why did they tell us to kiss and not the priest? My wife answered, in Soviet Russia, the punk line tells you. My wife asked me if I thought our kids are spoiled. I told her, no, I think all kids smell like that. Why haven't aliens visited our solar system? They looked at the reviews and we only have 1 star. What kind of bat doesn't have babies? A swallow. This morning Chuck Norris was shot. Check the news. The bullet is in critical condition. A blonde was on vacation in the depths of Louisiana. She wanted a pair of genuine alligator shoes, but didn't want to pay the high prices. After unsuccessfully haggling with one of the shopkeepers, the blonde said, maybe I'll just go out and catch my own alligator, so I can get a pair of shoes at a reasonable price. Later in the day, the shopkeeper spotted the young woman standing waist deep in the water, shotgun in hand. She took aim at an alligator, killed it and hauled it onto the swamp bank. Lying nearby were several more of the dead creatures. The shopkeeper watched in amazement as the blonde flipped the alligator on its back and shouted in frustration, damn, this one isn't wearing any shoes either. A father buys a lie detector robot that slaps people when they lie. He decides to test it out at dinner one night. The father asks his son what he did that afternoon. The son says, I did some schoolwork. The robot slaps the son. The son says, okay, I was at a friend's house watching movies. Dad asks, what movie did you watch? Son says, Toy Story. The robot slaps the son. Son says, okay, we were watching porn. Dad says, what? At your age I didn't even know what porn was. The robot slaps the father. Mom laughs and says, well, he certainly is your son. The robot slaps the mother. After years of hard work in the gym as a personal trainer, I finally admitted I wasn't strong enough and quit. I just handed in my 2-week notice. One day, Billy saw Mom jumping on Dad in bed. During breakfast the next morning, Billy asks Mom, why do you jump on Daddy before going to bed every night? The mom, looking over at Dad with her embarrassed expression, says, well, your daddy gets very fat every night eating dinner, so I have to jump on him to get his stomach flat. The son says, oh, well, that won't work, said the son. The mom, now curious, asks why not, and the son says, Well, as soon as you fall asleep, Ms. Darlip from next door comes in and blows him back up again.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.